Well, good morning. Today is Tuesday. Where's my watch is counting down. Today is Tuesday, December 8th. We do have some birthdays today. Today is, I got them written down, is Pamela Shed. So it's Pamela's birthday. Pamela, you get a song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pamela. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Linda Matson, Mattson. Linda, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Linda. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Okay, Linda, we know we have another Linda. And I think I said it right last year, but I want to make sure I say it right this year. Zatkowski. Zatkowski. Linda Zatkowski. Hopefully that's right, Linda. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Linda. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. I'm sure I screwed up your name, but I can take that off. It's very cold out here. It's 28 degrees. I prefer to walk in the cold than the heat. In the summer, I obviously like the heat better than the cold, but in the winter, I don't mind the cold. I think I burn up more energy that way, trying to stay warm. And put my gloves on this morning. I asked for some mittens for Christmas, so hopefully I get them. I like mittens when I walk better than gloves because you keep your hands together and then they're cold, they keep warmer. But I had a couple holes in them. You know me. Why get rid of something just because they're out of fashion? As long as they're durable, that's all that matters. I'm feeling so confident this month. I didn't start the month off with a whole heck of a lot of confidence, I know, but I'm feeling a lot more confident, and I do realize that the only way I'm going to be successful is changing just one little thing every day. Just a little thing. And I do find that the menu is really helping me, stay on plan. I am changing it up a little bit as I'm going along, I noticed, but it's definitely keeping me within points because when I'm swapping out what I'm choosing to eat, it balances out the same amount of points. Whereas before I would think, I don't want that, I'm just going to go to Burger King or something. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just not. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So I'm going to eat the breakfast that I planned, which was my bowl of Cheerios with a banana and a grapefruit and a cup of tea. And then for lunch, I'm going to have an egg salad sandwich with some vegetables. And then for dinner, I was supposed to have pork chop and rice. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. So I took another one. The chili yesterday was really good. So I took out one of my chilies, and I'm going to put a little bit of the Velveeta Mexican shreds on top, which is 3 points, which is the same points as the pork chop was. And then I'm going to have a side salad with just my Panera dressing, which is only 1 point. So that, I think I figured 4 points for my pork chop. So that takes care of my pork chop. And the 5 points for the rice, I'm going to have a tuna wrap on a Mission carb wrap. And maybe a cheese stick. And a sugar-free Jello for dessert. So I'm going to stay within my points. And that's all that really matters. I think if you can end the day with a little bit of pride in the day that you had, whether it was completely on plan or just a little bit off, you can succeed. And if you have a bad day, just know it was just one day that was bad, and then tomorrow we'll just get back on track and do it better. Just do a better job tomorrow. But anyway, it's kind of lonely walking alone. I did see a couple dog walkers today, which I was surprised because today was colder than yesterday. But I walked a little bit later today than I normally do. So I don't know, maybe that made the difference. But it was nice seeing other people out. Although we stayed socially distant, which I can't wait till that's done with. I'm doing my part right now because that's what you have to do. But I'm just looking forward to, I don't know, summer. They're predicting summer's supposed to be better. So I hope so because we've replanned our world tour for July. Because remember last year for July, I was supposed to spend a week up in Lexington at a cottage, which I booked that cottage already for this year. And then we were going to go 2 weeks maybe into 3, going to Minnesota to go to Redwood Falls, and then to go see the Little House on the Prairie. And then we were going to go to South Dakota, and then we were going to swing back up through Duluth and for my cousin Michael's birthday, spend a little bit of time there, and then come home. So that's my plan. I'm hoping probably like March or April to get the vaccine. Maybe even April or May. I don't know. I know like I'm 70, so I'm in the group that can get it, but I think as long as I'm feeling kind of healthy and being socially distant, I should give it to... I just think that the essential care workers, which to me the true essential care workers are the healthcare workers and people in the grocery stores. And I would even say the people in restaurants, because you know what? People want to go out and eat. They don't want to go in. Maybe they can't go in, but they still want to get carry out, because I know I'm one of them people. So you just have to consider them essential. But we'll see. I know everybody has a different definition of essential. And then, okay, kind of babbling. I know this is really warm hat. I'm going to share a couple Christmas stories. Sally P. Wanted to know my favorite toy as a child that I received. As a child, my favorite toy that I ever received was a Tiny Tears doll. I just remember that I wanted this Tiny Tears doll so badly. And Tiny Tears was a little doll that you gave it, somehow you put the water in the mouth and it cried tears. Unlike the babies later on that peed and pooped. This one just cried. And every time I'd see Santa Claus, I'd yell, "Santa, I want a Tiny Tears doll." And then even when we went to see Santa, I'd always tell him I wanted a Tiny Tears doll. And so I remember that Christmas morning I got the Tiny Tears doll. It was the only doll I ever wanted. It was the only doll I ever played with, because I never was a girly girl. But for that particular reason, I think it was the commercials on the Howdy Doody show for the Tiny Tears doll, or maybe the Mickey Mouse Club. But they kept showing that commercial for that doll, and I wanted that doll. But you know what? I treasured that doll. It was my favorite doll. I had that forever. I wish I still had it. Think how much money it's be worth right now, even all tattered. But one of my favorite memories of when I was a teenager of a gift was my mother, when we got to be teenagers, she used to give us the money to go buy our own gifts, because we usually got clothes or something like that. And so she gave me the money to go get the clothes. And what I really, really, really wanted was a pea coat, because they were so in style that year. And I had gotten a new coat the year before. In my family, when you were growing up, you got a new coat every other year. And the coat you got, the year you got the coat, it was too big. And then the following year, it either just fit or it was just getting on the point of being too small. But I had gotten a new coat the year before, so it wasn't my year to get a coat. So I knew I wasn't going to get a coat for Christmas. So I was hoping that I would have enough money that when my mother gave me the money for my Christmas presents, that I could get the pea coat. And so we went shopping at Eastland Mall, which was a big mall. It was an outdoor mall at that point. It wasn't even an indoor mall. It was an outdoor. And we walked there, which I thought, oh my gosh, we walked there, and it was like 4 miles. Hello. Pretty good. Well, you walk a long way. Because I walked to 2.5 miles, and you were like walking when I was walking, and you're still walking.
Went in the nature trail, and I turned him loose for a little while. He gets to run around.
Oh, yeah, he probably loved that.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, he's 100 miles an hour.
I can imagine.
He's young and got a lot of...
Yeah, you know, I've been here 16 years, and I've never been on that nature trail.
Honestly, we've been here 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, we started doing it when we got the dog, so...
Yeah, my kids always went there when they were growing up, but I never went over there.
Yeah. Yeah, they always hear softboards and stuff back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Now it's our turn.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I got distracted, but you know, that's what I do. And I'm not even going to edit it out. You get to know a little bit more about me and my neighborhood. So anyway, I went shopping, and we went to all the stores. Oh, I was going to say how far it was to walk. It was probably about 3.5 miles, which is like nothing. I walk 2.5 miles every day now, but back then I thought, oh, we're going to walk this. Because I even saved my bus money. My mother gave me money to take the bus there. And I thought, no, I'm saving this towards that coat. And then my girlfriends, we didn't care. We just walked. And then we went to all the stores, and I could not find the coat that because I couldn't afford it. I could find it everywhere, but I couldn't afford it. It just cost too much. So I bought 2 skirts and 2 sweaters and a blouse. And then I brought them home, and when you're older and a teenager, you wrap your own gifts. You know what you got anyhow. So I wrapped up my gifts, and I gave them to my mother so she could hide them in the closet underneath the stairway that we all knew about. So I wrapped them up and gave them to her. And I really liked the shirts and the skirts and the sweaters and the blouse I bought, but it wasn't the pea coat. It just wasn't the pea coat. So, went on our way. I went to the dime store, because I always went to the dime store to get everybody their gifts. Even though when we still only got $1.25, or maybe we got $1.50 because we got older and it got to be more money. But I'd buy my gifts for my brothers and sisters, and I'd wrap those. And so then when we would go to bed on Christmas Eve, I always, which I'm sure all kids do, I used to sneak downstairs just to see the presents under the tree, and to see if Santa Claus had come. And my mother had bought, which we found out years later, this is something we didn't know that my mother had. She had bought a set of bells, like on a strap, like a sleigh, like you wear it on a horse on a sleigh ride, those kind of bells. And before she would go to bed, when it would get closer to, like, she would think we'd try to sneak down, she'd shake the bells like Santa Claus was down there. And ooh, we're not going to go down there, Santa's down there, he might not leave us our gifts. We never knew she did that. It was years later, and she showed us the bells, and we thought, we were suckers, we fell for that. But anyway, so I snuck downstairs to see what my presents were. And it's easy to find, because in my family, when we grew up, you just had piles. It wasn't like all scattered under the tree, all pretty, and then somebody sat and handed out the presents, and like they do on the Christmas movies and that. No, you knew where your pile was, and you saw where your sock was with the banana, apple, and orange in the thing. And you had your pile, and I didn't see my pile of stuff, and I thought, oh, my mother forgot to bring my stuff out. Well, it's no big deal. I know what I'm getting anyhow. But I just wanted to see everybody else's piles of toys or gifts. So I went back and went to bed. And then when somebody got up in the morning, you had to wait at least till 6:30. But then everybody had to get up whether you wanted to or not. And I knew what I was going to get. And I was like, I wasn't really that enthused about going down there, but you had to go down there. And so I get down there, and there was this one bigger box on my pile, and a bunch of smaller little gifts and stuff wrapped up. And I thought, oh, my mother, she's so sneaky. She took my presents and put them in the bigger box, and so I'm just going to have one box, and then I'll have a bunch of little boxes of little things to open. So it's like a trick she's playing on me. So I thought, I'll play along. Well, you had to start with, like, you started with your sock, and you go, oh my gosh, I got an apple, a banana, and an orange, like you didn't know. And then we'd run into the dining room and put our fruit in the fruit bowl on the table. And then we come back and start opening our gifts. And then we got like a lot of little gifts and stuff, like a brush. Now, you wouldn't think a brush would be a big deal. If you're in a big family, and a big family that didn't have a lot of money, and you had to share the common brush in the bathroom with everybody else, you kind of treasured having your own brush that you could keep in your own drawer, because everybody had their own drawer in the dresser. And it was special. I mean, who would think a brush? The only thing we didn't share in my family was the toothbrush. Everybody had their own toothbrush, obviously, for obvious reasons. But like brushes and combs and things like that, we shared. It was just, that's what you did. You just shared. So I'm opening up all my gifts, and I got a couple of records, and I got a record case, and it was like really pretty neat stuff. And then I opened up the bigger box, expecting to open up all my sweaters and skirts and stuff, and it was my pea coat. You knew that, didn't you? You just knew that. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know it was my pea coat. I couldn't believe it. And I tried it on, and as always, it was a little bit too big. But I thought, I don't care. I can't wait to wear this to church. And I completely forgot about the skirts and the sweaters and the blouse. I just loved the pea coat that much more. And I was just so excited in that. So then afterwards, we're cleaning up all the stuff, and my mother took me aside, and she said, I hope you don't mind that I took your stuff back, because I knew you really wanted that pea coat. And I go, yeah, I really did. I was going to buy the pea coat, but I couldn't afford it. I said, where did you find it that you could afford it? And she says, well, I couldn't afford it. It was more than that. So you've seen me doing all this extra ironing. And my mother was doing a lot of ironing for the neighborhood that week, or that month, or even. And I never even thought twice, why is my mother taking in people's laundry and ironing it? And she says, I knew how much you wanted that coat, and I wanted to make sure you got it. So I took in some extra laundry this month, and that's why I got you the coat, which made that coat all that much more special, that my mother went to all that trouble. Now, she didn't just do that for me. Looking back, I know that she did that, like when I would see my brothers or sisters get something that was a little bit more extravagant than anyone else. I know my mother did that. We didn't have a lot of money, but my mother never made us feel like we were poor. I don't know how she did it, but she did. And I've told this before, my mother and my family, for our birthdays, we always got to pick our own meals. We got to pick a Saunders cake, which was a big deal because it was a bakery cake. And the only rule was you had to let my mom know a month before your birthday what you were going to have for your dinner, and what kind of cake you wanted, and what kind of ice cream you wanted, because you got the ice cream from Saunders. It wasn't the cheap store brand ice cream. It was the good Saunders ice cream. And you had to let her know a month before your birthday. And I never really understood that. And you couldn't change your mind. You couldn't say like the week before, I changed my mind, I want this. No, you had to have what you picked the month before. So you really thought about it all year, what you really wanted. And now I look back, I just could see that she penny pinched for that month just to give you that special day. And I think that's why holidays and birthdays and things like that are so special to me, because it's not so much the gift, it's the thought behind it, and the love, because we always got what we wanted. And I never knew we were poor, but looking back, we were poor. But my mother never made us feel that way. We never did. So anyway, that's about it for that. So I'll show you my food today, and just remember, we can all be successful. Just one day at a time. That's all we can do, one day at a time. Okay, let's go in the house and get a little bit warmer. Breakfast today is a bowl of Cheerios with some banana and grapefruit and a cup of tea. I started my day with a prayer. Today is Tuesday, December 8th. My quote is, without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning. It's an 8-point breakfast, 3 points for my cup of Cheerios, 5 points for my cup of milk, 0 for banana, grapefruit, and tea. 8 points, I still have 15 points left for dinner and lunch. I got so engrossed in my book today that I didn't have lunch. So I'm having like a lunch-dinner combo together. So it is a 11-point dinner, 2 points for my chili. Oh, I forgot to put the cheese on it. Oh, 2 points for the chili, a point for the Velveeta shred cheese, 2 points for my Aunt Millie's bread, 1 point for my lemonade, 4 points for my granola bar, 1 point for my Miracle Whip, and 0 for my eggs and my cucumber. I have 4 points left. I think I had another successful day. Well, I had another successful day. Even though I didn't eat lunch, I still have 4 points left over. I'll just carry those over. But my book is really getting interesting now, and so I'm kind of getting so engrossed in that. I was reading for a couple hours, and I was getting hungry, and then I'm thinking, it's lunchtime, I should eat. And then I thought, well, I'm just going to read one more chapter. And that led into another chapter, and then to another chapter, and into another chapter. So when it came time to, it was like 5 o'clock, I thought, so wait till dinner. So anyway, I don't have any plans for tomorrow. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, pretty much the same days, just different days of the week. But as long as I stay on track, I'm feeling so much better, feeling a little bit more confident about how well I'm doing on my plan, and feeling pretty good. So, as always, subscribe, like, comment, share. Talk to you tomorrow. Stay safe.